in the house. Peace, peace. Today, this is a poetry session. Check it. Brand new book. You all have to pick up this brand new book. It's called Wealth Beyond Flesh, the Inner Mint. This is a poetry book. Check it. A treasury of soul activated poetry. This book reveals the inner power of the subconscious to create wealth beyond limitation. Each piece is a blueprint, a revelation, a memory of who you truly are, a minting mind, a divine vault, an eternal source of value. Wealth is not outside of you. You are the vault. You are the gold. Flame delivers 30 transcendent poetic declarations for creators, visionaries, and those ready to reclaim their spiritual abundance. My people, wealth beyond flesh, the inner mint. Okay? You can cash app me now $20 for a copy of this book. It has a table of contents. It is 30 poems in this book, each written in poetic form with the power, imagination, and the creation of wealth through the subconscious mind. To the soul within every seeker, may you remember the vault you carry, the wealth already yours, and the golden truth that you were born rich in spirit. My people, this book is dropping the codes of the IRS in poetic poetry form. Okay, I'm going to tell you about the table of contents. Okay, this book is brand new on the market. You get it straight from the Cash App that's in the description. The table of contents, my people. Wealth as a blueprint. Wealth as a birthright. That's the first piece in it. Prosperity through purpose is the second piece. Universal supply is the third piece. Divine trust is the fourth piece. Alchemy of belief. Soul contracts, 6. Inner silence, 7. Number 8, outer riches. Number 9, inner riches. Number 10, blueprint of abundance. 11, blueprint of prosperity. 12, the ledger of wealth. 13, transmutated into gold. 14, transmutated into silver. 15, crowned by vocation. 16, spiritual entrepreneur. 17, crowned by vocation. 18, road to the treasury. 19, ultimate prophecy. 20, the final move. 21, money, money, get it. 22, more money. 23, no fear. 24, the process. 25, not checkers or chess. 26, play the game. 27, life. 28, levels to the game. 29, levels to the process. 30, IRS. So, my people, I just gave you a taste of what's in the book from the table of contents. Okay, the titles alone are mind blowing. Okay, The final title in this poetry book, which is a very powerful spiritual poetry book, is the IRS. And that piece I am going to recite to you today because it's that powerful, my people. Now, the author, her writing speaks to the alchemy of belief, the power of subconscious imagination, and the divine contracts each of us carries from spirit into form. Wealth beyond flesh, the inner mint, is her soul's declaration, a poetic blueprint for manifesting prosperity within when not writing. Flame inspires others to remember their divine inheritance and take back authorship of their reality, one thought at a time. Take it back, my people, one thought at a time. The introduction, my people, the manuscript of poetry is by Flame RubieWilkie. By Flame RubieWilkie. Edited, the publishing company. We got the publishing company. There is a vault not guarded by keys, but by consciousness. A treasure not of paper, but of principle. A mint not made of metal, but of mind. My people, this book was born not in a marketplace, but in meditation. Each poem within the pages is key, a vibration, a vision meant to awaken the latent wealth within your soul. We have been told that riches lie outside of us, in systems, in banks, in labor. But the deepest truth is this wealth begins in the unseen realms of the imagination. The imagination, when coupled with belief and purpose, transmutes into substance. The poems in Wealth Beyond Flesh, the Inner Mint, are meditations, affirmations, and revelations. They are blueprints from the inner world to manifest tangible abundance. Through the language of spirit and metaphor, they guide you into deeper alignment with the source of all supply, your own subconscious mind. I invite you not to just read these verses, but to feel them, to let their resonance stir alchemy and belief within you. You are not meant to strive endlessly for riches. You are meant to remember you already are the treasury. Let the words remind you of your divine contract with creation, to imagine, to trust, to become, to receive in soul and sovereignty. My people, wealth beyond flesh, the inner mint. This book was a lot of the everyday that I went through with the IRS process to obtaining a refund. Okay, my people, this book is a treasury of soul activated poetry. This book reveals the inner power of the subconscious to create wealth beyond limitation. Each piece is a blueprint of a revelation, a memory of who you truly are, a minting mind, a divine vault, an eternal source of value. Wealth is not outside of you. You are the vault. You are the gold. You are everything, my people. But before I drop this piece, this is the last piece written in this book that you must hear. Okay? The book Wealth Beyond Flesh, the NNER Mint, is being released today. Full moon energy on the so-called Gregorian calendar, August the 8th, 2025. But when you match the moon up in the sky into the calendar of August, it's really August the 29th, 2025, because the moon right now, it's in its final quarter, which is the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter is always the ending of the month, and the ending of the month always comes to a full moon cycle. So, this is a full moon ritual. I released my book today on a full moon ritual. Wealth Beyond Flesh, the NNER Mint. So, my people, let me get some ones, let me get some sixes, let me get some nines in the chat, let me get some threes, let me get some thumbs up. I'm getting ready to drop this piece. It's called IRS. Pack it in, my people. This is the piece that you definitely want to hear. So check it. This piece, no doubt, okay, the poetry book is a most definitely coded, straight up. I had to code it because you can't just give it to a nigga. You know what I'm saying? This is a 2025 copyright with an IBSN number and a copyright number. So, my people, you can't steal it. And if you do, I'm suing. Straight up. So, if you want a copy of this hot ass coded Wealth Beyond Flesh, the NNER Mint, it's a $20 book. It has 34 pages of the most highly spiritual, vaulted, coded words and literature within this poetry book. This is one poetry book that you must have in your collection of literature. Wealth Beyond the Flesh, the NNER Mint. By Flame, RubieWilkie. So, my people, this is the 30th piece, because the book has 30 powerful pieces of poetry, okay, written by the author. So, I'm going to spit the 30th piece in the book. So, this is a piece that you want to hear, okay? You want to hear this piece because this piece is dealing with the IRS. And the IRS is what everybody has to go through to get some money. Straight up. Okay? So, the piece is titled IRS. Internal Revenue Service. Not what they think, but what you know. The inner vaults from which funds flow. It's not eternal tax or rule, but internal revenue from soul's school. The service is your sacred right to mint abundance from inner light. A treasury not bound by form, but born where bold ideas are born. File your claim in thought divine. Declare yourself the soul in line. IRS, not fear but nerve. Your birthright, your internal reserve. That piece right there, my people, it's all coded. I'm going to recite it for you one more time. Listen now and listen to the codes of how your tax refund will flow. Internal Revenue Service, not what they think, but what you know. The inner vaults from which funds flow. It's not internal tax or rule, but internal revenue from the soul's school. The service is your sacred right to mint abundance from inner light. A treasury not bound by form, but born where bold ideals are born. File your claim in thought divine. Declare yourself the soul in line. IRS, not fear but nerve. Your birthright, your internal reserve. My people, the book, Wealth Beyond Flesh, the NNER Mint, is a poetry book of coded poetry of the entire process of what we're going through now. If you want to book Flame for your next poetry recital, your next poetry session, anywhere you want to book Flame, call 407 300 5377. We are now booking Flame for poetry sessions and all types of conscious meetings right now. So if you want to book Flame, you call 407 300 5377. Now I'm going to recite this piece for you again, and then I'm going to recite one more other piece from the book. Okay, so again, the piece is called IRS. It's a poetry piece. Powerful, very powerful. It's coded, so listen to it as a code. Internal Revenue Service, not what you think, but what you know. The inner vaults from which funds flow. It's not eternal tax or rule, but internal revenue from the soul's school. The service is your sacred right to mint abundance from inner light. A treasury not bound by form, but born where bold ideals are born. File your claim in thought divine. Declare yourself the soul in line. IRS, not fear but nerve. Your birthright, your internal reserve. Snap, 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 clap, 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 clap. So my people, let's break this IRS piece down so that you can understand. Check it. Internal Revenue Service, not what they think. So everybody has a thought about the Internal Revenue Service, correct? You on the same page, right? Okay. I'm saying it's not what you think, okay? But it's what you know. Because what you think is something that you have not processed or have filed any paperwork on. So it's only what they think, but not what they know. Because once you know it, means that you have filed paperwork on it. you have taken the proper steps and you've received notices from the IRS. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you know. The inner vault from which funds flow. Now, if you receive a refund from the IRS, that is the inner vault from which funds flow, from how you receive your tax refund. So you know it's a vault. And yes, if you do the proper paperwork right, from what you know, then your funds will flow. It's not eternal tax or rule. It's not eternal tax or rule. Basically, it's not eternal. So you can look up eternal and you can understand that it's not eternal tax because some people are exempt, and it's not eternal rule because it's voluntary that for you to file a tax return. It's voluntary. So it's not, it's not external tax or rule. You see, so if you understand external, external and tax or rule, then you can understand the coding of how what's in that line. But internal revenue from the soul's school, meaning that your soul, when filing your tax refund, is learning the language of the IRS. So the IRS, the manual, is actually your schooling. That's the real schooling, is when you read the IRS manual. College and IRS manual, yes, because at 18, you should be filing your first IRS tax return. Straight up at 18. You should be filing that for $1 million. Okay? This is why you need to book Flame in a poetry session or book Flame for the private conscious meetings. Now, internal revenue from the soul's school. So, in actuality, my people, the IRS, the Internal Revenue, is a school. If you learn the manual, then you will be able to graduate by receiving your tax refund. That's the graduation, to receive $1 million tax refund or however much you going out for. You know what I'm saying? How much you ever filed for. That is your true schooling, is the IRS. Accounting, mathematics. Now, the service is your sacred right. The service, whatever your business does, is the service. That is your sacred right of why you should receive your tax filing, reporting. That's your service right to file your report on your service, your business. To mint abundance from inner light. So you're minting the abundance of your service from your inner wisdom of how the school and everything that you're learning from the tax manual. A treasury not bound by form. A treasury not bound by form. So the treasury is the IRS, and you have an individual IRS account. That's your treasury. And it's not bound by form because it's infinite. It's whatever you create from your inner life and from your service, from your business, be it private or public. But it's yours. You know what I'm saying, my people? It's yours. So we got a couple of more lines because I'm breaking this down for you. I'm breaking down this poetry piece for you to let you understand how it was written and formed. You know what I'm saying? Because the IRS is, it's school, straight up. Some people look at it as this and that, but in all actuality, the IRS is higher than college. You know what I'm saying? To master the IRS manual, you're genius. You know what I'm saying? You're building your own genius. And that's what we're talking about within this piece. It's a treasury. You know what I'm saying, my people? It's a treasury. So a treasury not bound by form, but born where bold ideals are born. You gotta be bold to file an IRS tax refund return because there's 27 from the 1099 A, B, C, OID, NEC, and all. There's 27 of them. So you have to be a very bold spirit with bold ideals because the IRS is a mathematical creation of wealth. That's why this piece, the IRS within my book, is the last piece because it's the tax refund. File your claim in thought divine. So you're filing your claim. You are a divine being of the Most High. Within your divinity and your service, you must file your claim. In thought first it starts, and then it goes to paper. Whatever is on paper must manifest. You understand what I'm saying, my people? Declare yourself the soul in line. You are the soul in line. Who is the soul? The soul is the heir. The soul is the beneficiary. The soul is all the hats that you wear at any given time within the IRS process. You know what I'm saying? Declare yourself the soul in line. IRS, not fear. You don't fear the IRS. You don't fear anything. To fear the IRS is to fear yourself because you are the IRS. You are the wealth and prosperity that you are creating on the paper. So what are you fearing? Oh, shit. But nerve. But nerve. You have to have the courage. You have to have the nervous system to do this. You have to have the nerve. You have to have the guts, my people. You have to have courage. You have to be the lion. You have to roar when you're going through the IRS. Your birthright, your internal reserve. It's your birthright. It's your internal, your inner. That's why it's called Internal Revenue Service. Because it's the service of your business. It's your birthright. Your birthright is your business. Your internal reserve is your business. The Federal Reserve created a note. It was their note. It's their private note. It's their reserve. Do you understand? So the birthright, your internal reserve, create your wealth. You create the wealth through the IRS. You can create your own money system, but the money system, for you to even draw it down, You have to do a tax return report to receive the refund. So, my people, that piece is called the IRS. Now, I'm going to read it to you once again, now that you understand the code behind it. I'm going to read it to you again. IRS, Internal Revenue Service. Not what they think, but what you know. The inner vaults from which funds flow. It's not external tax or rule, but internal revenue from the soul's school. The service is your sacred right to mint abundance from inner life. A treasury not bound by form, but born where bold ideals are born. File your claim in thought divine. Declare yourself the soul in line. IRS, not fear, but nerve. Your birthright, your internal reserve. You know what I'm saying, my people? That piece is the last piece in the book. It's a very powerful piece because it's telling you how to get your tax refund. I'm going to read you one more piece from the book, and I'm trying to see which piece that I should read. I'm going to give you the table of contents, and somebody in the chat, after I read off the table of contents, tell me which piece you want to hear. Okay, the first piece is called Wealth as a Birthright. The second, Prosperity Through Purpose. 3, Universal Supply. 4, Divine Trust. 5, Alchemy of Belief. 6, Soul Contracts. 7, Inner Silence. 8, Outer Riches. 9, Inner Riches. 10, Blueprint of Abundance. 11, Blueprint of Prosperity. 12, The Ledger of Wealth. 13, Transmutated into Gold. Transmutated onto gold. Transmutated into silver, number 14. 15, Crowned by Vocation. 16, Spiritual Entrepreneur. 17, Crowned by Vocation. 18, Road to the Treasury. 19, Ultimate Prophecy. 20, The Final Move. 21, Money, Money, Get It. 22, More Money. 23, No Fear. 24, The Process. 25, Not Checkers or Chess. 26, Play the Game. 27, Life. 28, Levels to the Game. 29, Levels to the Process. And 30 is the IRS. So, if anybody is listening to this chat, let me know which one y'all want to hear. Peace to MERIEM bra. Peace, peace, peace. All right, my people. We're going to read another piece on this full moon. Check it. Let me see. Trying to see if it goes down. Let me see. Okay, my people. I'm trying to see which piece I want to read. Maybe I will do the process. It's not the pop. It's not the flash, but subtle steps that build the stash. Each thought a deposit pure and wise. Each vision a check that multiplies. Trust the unseen, move in peace. The process brings the grand release. Patience is the highest art. It opens vaults and moves the heart. Day by day, the trust expands as wealth obeys your soul's commands. The process, slow but always sure, makes the dream not just rich, but pure. So, my people, that poetry piece right there from the book Wealth Beyond Flesh, the NNER Mint, the process is the 24th piece in the book, and it has a lot of code, in this piece. You know, it's not the pop, we could say it's not the money, it's not the refund, it's not the flash, it's not, you could say that it's not all of the hoopla, it's not the scene, it's the unseen. But subtle steps that build the stash, meaning the steps that we take when we file our refund are the steps that we take to build our stash, our money, our vault. Okay? So each thought a deposit, pure and wise. So our thoughts, must be pure and must be wise. We have to move like a wise one. We have to know what we're doing when we do these filings. Each vision a check that multiplies. So you have to see your refund. You have to see your return as a refund multiplying and the check in your hand, and you're using it and applying it to your life. Straight up. Trust the unseen. When it looks like all is failed, trust the unseen. Trust your vision that you're holding from the start when you're doing your tax returns. Move in peace. So move in peace. Move with clean hands. Sometimes you have to move in silence, but move in peace. Don't attack nobody while doing this process. The process brings the grand release. When you move in peace, you will see the grand release, which will be your tax refund. We don't know how long it's going to take, but you will get that grand release. Patience is the highest art. It opens vaults and moves the heart. So if you have patience after all of the delays that the IRS may put you through, the vault will open and it will move your heart. When you see that tax refund, finally you're receiving it, either direct deposit or in the mail, your heart will be smiling. You know what I'm saying? Day by day, the trust expands. So when you're receiving that tax refund, it's going into your trust. You know what I'm saying? If you file it right, it's supposed to come to the trust. So now the trust expands. As wealth obeys your soul's command. So from the start, you gave a command to your soul. You gave a command when you were filling out the 1040 or the 1041 or whatever form in the IRS. You directed a command to your soul that you want X amount of money out of your treasury vault. The process slow, but always sure. You see, the slow is the delays, but it's sure to come if you have the patience to wait. Makes the dream not just rich, but pure. So my people, the process, that was called The Process. This book of Wealth Beyond Flesh, the NNER Mint, is on sale right now. It's $20. It has 34 pages of powerful poetry pieces on the process, a treasury of soul activated poetry. This book reveals the inner power of the subconscious to create wealth beyond limitation. Each piece is a blueprint, a revelation, a memory of who you truly are, a minting mind, a divine vault, an eternal source of value. Wealth is not outside of you. Your wealth, you are the vault, you are the gold. This book of poetry is $20. You can cash app $ capital R lowercase UBIE, capital W, lowercase ILKIE. You can cash app. I can send you out a copy of this book. It's a paperback, okay? And it is titled Wealth Beyond Flesh, the NNER Mint. It's a book of poetry by Flame, okay, by who you are listening to right now. The book is copywritten, 2025 copyright. The book has an ISBN number, and the book has a barcode. The book has a publishing company. Okay, my people? So, the service is the publishing company. The author is Flame. You have a barcode, an ISBN, and a copyright. Okay? So, you must get a copy of this poetry book because this is a coded poetry book. And it's dealing with all of what we go through while following our process. You know, I'm going to read you one last piece from this book. You know, it's 30 pieces of poetry in it. You know, I'm trying to see which one. Well, let's talk about more money. This piece is number 22 in the book, and it's called More Money. More than paper. So when we say more, I'm going to read it first, and then we're going to break it down. More than paper, more than gold. It's the echo of the mind's stronghold. Whispers of abundance swell, where belief and focus dwell. More money, not from greed, but as a mirror of the seed. You planted deep in silent soil, now blooms without strain or toil. It flows not to those who chase, but those aligned with sacred grace. So say it loud and feel it true. More money is meant for you. Let's break this poetry piece down, my people. Check it. More money, I said, more than paper. It's more than the Federal Reserve note. It's more than the paper of a 1040 or a 1041 or whatever we do to file a tax refund. It's more than gold. You know what I'm saying? It's the echo of the mind stronghold, because the echo is things that you can hear in your mind or you can hear at a distance that have a stronghold on you. The process has a stronghold on all of us, especially when we're doing a tax refund. It's a stronghold. Believe that. Whispers of abundance swell. Whispers of abundance. You know, we're whispering to ourselves. We have silent talk with ourselves about how we're going to get this abundance. You know what I'm saying? It swells within us. You know, it gets bigger, it grows bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's where you start to create your courage, where belief and focus dwell. So as the abundance swells within you of the thoughts, now you believe it. You start to put it down on paper. You start sending it out in the mail. You start, you know, calling up the IRS. You start just opening up your IRS account because you believe it. And now you're focused and it dwells within you. So you open up that IRS account and you track it every day. More money, not from greed. You know, we can't be greedy in this process because we already wealthy. So why there's no need to be greedy when you already got it. But as a mirror of the seed, if you plant your seed, the mirror shall grow and you shall reap your abundance. It's whatever you put on that piece of paper, how you fill out your 1040s, your 1041s. You planted deep in silent soil. So the 1040, the 1041 is the soil. The paper is the soil that you plant. Means that you're writing. Writing is the plant. That's the soil. So what you write is what you're planning for the IRS refund. Okay? Now blooms without strain or toil. So eventually, what you have planted in the soil, written on your tax 1040 or 1041, shall bloom without strain or toil. It flows not to those who chase. Once you write it out, send it in, you check on it. You open up your IRS account, you check on it. If you're not sure, go back to the IRS manual. Read the IRS manual. If you have to call up, then that's on you. But I advise you to not be calling them up because you're supposed to already know. If anything, write them an 843 letter and include your affidavit in that if you have questions. They do say call if you have questions, and yeah, you can. That's up to you. Okay, it flows not to those who chase, but those aligned with sacred grace. Now, the sacred grace is that you're going to go open the IRS manual and read what you don't understand, or you're going to pull up Chat GPT and type in what you don't understand about the IRS. Now, so say it loud and feel it true. More money is meant for you. So, my people, this is Wealth Beyond Flesh, the Inner Mint, written by Flame. My people, publishing company. It has a publisher company, a publisher. It has a barcode, an ISBN number, and a copyright. This poetry book is copyright 2025, my people. You must pick up this book now because it is a hot poetry book. This book is dealing with the whole process, coded poetry. You want to hire Flame for your poetry sessions? 407-300-5377. You want to hire Flame for your conscious lectures? 407-300-5377. My people, Flame is the queen of consciousness in delivery. Consciousness to the highest, my people. Consciousness, alchemy of belief, my people. Alchemy of belief. Belief, the flame that turns the base into higher sacred place. The lead of doubt, the fear once bold, now transmuted into gold. That's what the flame will do. If you heat the flame, I can melt the gold. I can melt the silver. This is a book and a poetry of magic on how to obtain your IRS tax refund. Straight up. This book is a book of magical coded poetry on the IRS refund. So, my people, let's show you what it looked like. See the book? Wealth, Beyond the Flesh, the Inner Mint. There you go, my people. That's the book. It's paperback. It's a paperback, my people. It's a paperback. This book right here is most definitely going to set you free. It's going to put your mental on a whole nother wave alignment of financial wealth and how to pull it out through a tax refund. Straight up, you know, Wealth Beyond the Flesh, the Inner Mint. This is the book that you need to have in your literature, on your bookshelf, in your hand. It's a short read, my people, but it's a powerful short read that you will want to have because it's magical. It's invoking the spirit of wealth. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? It's invoking the spiritual wealth. And that's what you want. You want spiritual wealth. You want the money to continue your life without anybody governing over you. You want to govern yourself, then you need to pick up this book, Wealth Beyond Flesh, the Inner Mint. It's $20. You can cash app $ capital RUBIE, capital WILKIE, and you will see the symbol of a circle with the colors of the flag in it of red, silver, and copper with a gold sun. Okay, that icon is red for the blood of our people, silver for the silver precious metal, copper for the precious metal. The gold sun is for the precious metal gold. My people, that's my money flag. Okay, this book is what you definitely must pick up. It's a must have, it's a must read, it's a short read. You know, it's an invocation. It's a magical coded spell ritual that will open up gateways and portals for you and the IRS. Straight up. Now, before I go, you know, you're going to have to come back and listen to this. We're going to repeat that one last piece again, the last piece of the book, which is called The IRS. We're going to go out with this piece. Internal Revenue Service, not what they think, but what you know. The inner vaults from which funds flow. It's not external tax or rule, but internal revenue from the soul's school. The service is your sacred right to mint abundance from inner light, a treasury not bound by form, but born where bold ideals are born. File your claim in thought divine. Declare yourself the soul in IRS, not fear but nerve. Your birthright, your internal reserve. That is from the book of poetry, Wealth Beyond Flesh, The Inner Mint. My people, pick the book up, pick it up now. 407 300 5377. This has been a poetry session with Flame. 407 300 5377. You can cash app, and I will send you a copy of the book, Wealth Beyond Flesh, The Inner Mint. You can cash app $20 to $ capital R, lowercase UBIE, capital W, lowercase ILKIE. Wealth Beyond Flesh, The Inner Mint. So I'm going to show you the cover once again, my people. Let me show you the cover once again. You see it? Wealth Beyond Flesh, The Inner Mint. Okay, my people? That's the book of poetry. All right? That's how we move it. Okay. So we about to be up and out of here, my people. Stay up, stay one, stay strong, and I am out.